Hey guys, welcome back to another What Fair. Today we're doing part 5 to Wave Naruto wakes up as they go after Wave. If you have forgotten some of what happened in the last part, which just happened 3 hours ago, but if you have, well, or you're just, clicked on obviously something to this one and it's sometime in the future, then, well, yeah, there's a link in the description down below which takes you to a place where you can watch the previous parts in order, and then you have a future part that gets added into this series, and or you can watch all the way all the way through and then click on the end screen card or skip to the end to get to that end screen card and click on the top left hand corner, which will take you to the very same playlist. And with that, let's get into this. So after somewhat Naruto and the female somewhat Ambu medicning somewhat, but obviously talk about the somewhat her killing the sound shinobi and giving her some advice to kind of help her potentially through that somewhat period of potential nightmare she may get trying to somewhat go to sleep. Yeah, though our main somewhat thoughts were more on obviously the Fadokai's funeral and if she should somewhat go somewhat as her old self and put on a go somewhat out shopping and get a black somewhat suit or that, or somewhat show off her actual current new self, her current gender, and somewhat go out and have to obviously somewhat buy some black dress and that, and yeah. And so somewhat, though, after somewhat talking somewhat back and forth for a while, she the female Ambu Madden would somewhat leave, with Naruto deciding that she would become, or at least she was just going to somewhat reveal herself, her obviously thoughts on somewhat. It's just somewhat she'd had to quite somewhat recently, within like the month and like 2 to 3 weeks prior to the training exams as a whole, she'd kind of had to hold herself back from either punching or just yelling out that she was a girl as they didn't know. And yeah, it obviously got to that point where she kind of realised that she did want people to know, but was obviously just a bit anxious, anxiety, and yeah. And so from there she'd somewhat go out and would go to somewhat clothes store, and yeah, from there she'd somewhat buy a new somewhat battle kimono, mainly because her current one was already somewhat that she wasn't currently wearing but did have was somewhat she'd been wearing it for, like, the last time she remembered wearing it was that she had it somewhat loose on her due to, well, just growing. And yeah, though when she someone arrived at the store, the somewhat person at the till had somewhat, of course, had someone recognised Naruto and noted the fact that he was indeed actually female. And yeah, so after having her chest somewhat measured, somewhat, which she did know she was probably up potentially a size or something like that, or maybe she was just like an A cup but a large A, but no, she had indeed grown to a B cup instead. So she'd, God, after it had been sort of 5 months since she'd become a girl, since she'd woken up on that day, the somewhat her first night after, home after the wave mission, when she'd woken up as a female, as a woman, well, not really woman, but female, and she was becoming a woman. And yeah, though from there, somewhat after getting a couple of other measurements, she'd somewhat go and she'd pick up pretty much a somewhat same, or at least somewhat battle kimono that she pretty much originally had, but that was A cup. This, so when she obviously now had in a somewhat basket was a big one for women, women or some teenagers like herself with a B cup sized chest. And yeah, from there she'd then go and get pretty much somewhat, or at least like 14 bras and 14, what they called sports bras. Though she also did get one normal somewhat, though she did also get an extra somewhat bra, so 15 bras, though the 15th one was a C cup one, as mainly because somewhat when she knew her chest would inevitably grow again, she'd obviously be somewhat, obviously she'd throw all her other sort of bras and that wouldn't obviously fit in her more, and she'd obviously still have one to, be able to go out and get the, and obviously new set of bras and that. And yeah, besides somewhat, obviously from that she'd also go and get a black funeral dress, blank dress. And yeah, she would think about potentially maybe getting, she did obviously had somewhat Conrici sandals and that, and she would somewhat do, because she'd walk past the hills and that, though, once she'd get something dressed and that, she'd think about potentially maybe getting some, maybe shoes, or a maybe actual Conrici outfit, or something she'd much more prefer rather than the battle kimono. But after somewhat mining or adding up all that money and minusing what she currently had, she'd realise she'd only have about, with all this, she'd only have about 2 months left of money. And yeah, considering the fact they obviously actually potentially may not even be, sent on, the team may not even get any real somewhat missions anytime soon. She'd probably obviously plus somewhat clothes and that obviously were the last thing on her mind, trying to look something that was very much the last thing, money and that, and just living to the next day and make sure she has enough money to get enough food, as she obviously think, hey, but in Canada now to have a ton more money is but now to really only eat ramen. And so Naruto, since she'd pretty much flipped being female, so obviously 5 months ago she'd also been cooking her own food and that, so eating a lot more healthily. So she still had ramen, she still loved ramen, but she enjoyed now kind of cooking for herself and that, and yeah, so she did eat a lot healthier, which of course allowed her body to grow. Otherwise she probably, and she somewhat deep down knew that she probably wouldn't have developed any really much more than what she kind of had done. Yeah, anyway, and yeah, those from there, 3 days would go by as well, after kind of waking up, going to the toilet and that, and then coming back and getting obviously dressed, though putting on the black just black dress and that. She'd also, or at least it would also come with some gloves, and which she'd momentarily ponder about wearing, but would just shrug, it wasn't going to obviously hurt her, so she would put them on though. And yeah, from there it would just be a bit of waiting, and before long she'd hear a knock on the door, and she'd open it to somewhat surprised teammates, as Sasuke and Sakura obviously come there. And yeah, though Sakura would be somewhat confused, and she'd go, Naruto, you're a girl known that somewhat obviously, especially on a day like this, it's highly unlike Naruto, was using his sexy jutsu. And yeah, Naruto would go, yeah, and Sakura would go, you've been hiding in the code all this time through the academy, and Naruto would go, well, not quite. they'd look at her and she'd somewhat suggest that, you know, for them to somewhat to go, which they'd understand. She'd tell them, and she'd tell them as they would walk towards, you know, things. So she'd somewhat walk out, shut her somewhat door, and she'd, as they'd somewhat leave, she'd tell them that she'd been actually girls somewhat 5 months ago. So when they came back somewhat from rave, she just wound up waking up as a girl one morning, and she doesn't know why. Nobody does. Or at least, well, and yeah, though they'd ask someone who knew, and she'd pretty much just say pretty much a somewhat Ambu medic nin who had tracked me out, and the somewhat old man, and yeah, that's all. They'd be a bit surprised, as they'd somewhat figured, you know, I should probably tell Kakashi nope. Though they'd nod, and from there they'd arrive to the somewhat funeral, and yeah, or at least with somewhat starter and kind of surprise and that, and yeah, of course the skin had somewhat lighting up since being obviously somewhat old self. And yeah, as someone, and she could tell her seemingly not just a feminization, but just she's seemingly still changing quite literally, as she knew she was obviously developing into a woman, but not just that, but she was also still seemingly physically, or that also somewhat changing. Granted, her eyes colour had stayed the exact same, but her skin colour had somewhat lightened up a few bits to being somewhat just like lightly tanned. She'd go from having tanned skin to very much lightly tanned, and yeah. Anyway, though somewhat after the funeral and that, and meeting up with somewhat Kakashi, and that Kakashi would be surprised, and yeah, though somewhat after a bit of talking and that, they would go off and somewhat, yeah, mainly kind of, he would somewhat, you know, kind of just talk with them for a bit, mainly like how to just, you know, deal with, or at least somewhat maybe. And yeah, though of course after that, obviously Dry would have been told about or at least, you know, would have been somewhat, you know, told that he'd have to become the next card game, which she'd obviously decline it, but would obviously state that Tsunade, you know, to obviously get Tsunade, and yeah, and that he would somewhat bring along, you know, somewhat Naruto, and though they would somewhat end up obviously being somewhat having, you know, being forced to agree with, though they would tell him that he would have to obviously tell Kakashi, and that, and she'd nod, and so go and, you know, and find Kakashi, tell Kakashi, which Kakashi tell Dry that Naruto was actually female, and yeah, they'd talk for a bit, and yeah, Dry wouldn't be all that surprised that Naruto didn't tell him, as somewhat understandable, you know, certainly may be a godfather, but, you know, she didn't obviously know that, and he hadn't been in her life, so there was no trust. She didn't trust him, that was obvious. But she didn't trust, you know, tell Kakashi didn't mean she didn't even trust him, or she was just more obviously somewhat scared and concerned, and that afterwards, you know, obviously. But yeah, though he could obviously, and even Kakashi wanted to say that he could somewhat understand why his Naruto went from pretty much having no friends and that to, you know, somewhat having, you know, the somewhat, you know, somewhat a team as somewhat of friends, and obviously didn't want to ruin that with him, and eventually somehow became female, and yeah. Anyway, those I tried somewhat knock on the door, and somewhat to his, or at least somewhat to annoyance, nobody would answer. After trying it a couple more times, he'd end up locking the door and walking into somewhat of apartment, and after somewhat looking around and knocking on the bedroom door, and she'd realise that nobody was there, he'd momentarily think about waiting for it to arrive backward, but he'd just shake his head. That'd be somewhat stupid and also potentially somewhat creepy, so he'd walk outside and kind of pick like, door locked. And yeah, though it was clear she had somewhat returned and had changed from the dress that was the dress that was on the bed. And yeah, though from that, though, sort of after looking around, he'd somewhat find on one of the farther out training grounds, somewhat just training, though. And yeah, though he'd obviously somewhat dropped down, and well, yeah, though somewhat after kind of greeting that, he'd tell her that he'd somewhat like her to come with him somewhat outside the mission, as he's outside the village, as there's a mission. She'd ask what that was, pretty much why, and Dry would simply state that somewhat the mission, or at least was to get their next car here, and she'd ask why were they going outside the village, wasn't the person inside, and he'd shake his head, stating, or at least somewhat telling somewhat Naruto that they were after his old teammate, and Rich should somewhat narrow his somewhat horizons, and he'd put up his somewhat hand, stating that telling her somewhat, or at least to somewhat be, or at least remember that teams come in 3 or 4 if you can in the sense say, but 3. She'd somewhat nod, and though she'd still narrow his eyes and would state, though why would your other teammate be outside the village? And he'd state that she, or at least his other teammates, she'd had a pretty somewhat rough life during the second and third Shinobi War, and that she'd lost everyone. She'd pretty much loved her entire clan was pretty much destroyed, and she was the last one alive, pretty much. And yeah, Naruto would somewhat shrug at that time and go, so I'm pretty much the last one alive of my clan, Sasuke's the last of his, and well, I guess Sasuke's not the best one to use, as he wants revenge, but well, I guess Sasuke's the last loyal one. But yeah, anyway, you don't see me obviously leaving the village and yeah. So I would somewhat decide, try and somewhat argue that it was kind of different and that, and whilst she wouldn't somewhat know, she would state whilst true it was somewhat different, she did still abandon the village. And yeah, though she would give in, and she would somewhat go with Dryer, though somewhat Dry, or at least though she would, or at least get Dry somewhat to teach her another jutsu, which she'd obviously agree to. And yeah, though he'd somewhat know he couldn't teach her the Rasengan, which he kind of wanted to somewhat teach her, but obviously she got to somewhat her first kind of proxy by writing it down in a scroll and giving that to her. Anyway, so pretty much from the obviously journey to look for Tsunade, with somewhat doing that obviously time, besides obviously somewhat the obviously canon fights which somewhat happened. The only thing different would be that obviously she would still be training in Rasengan, but to do it one-handed, but also try to end up teaching her how to somewhat use her hair as a form of somewhat defense, as while somewhat Dried asked her if she plans on really growing out her hair, and it after just kind of shrugged and said someone don't know, which was kind of true. He somewhat mostly didn't know, though Dryad somewhat non-done presumed she probably would. So I'd decided to somewhat teach her how to use her hair, as a somewhat shield and to reinforce it. Which is somewhat not fine, sort of kind of thanking him somewhat. Yeah, anyway, when they'd somewhat end up finding Tsunade, Naruto would end up somewhat batting against Tsunade, and would end up trying to do the Rasengan one-handed, something even after a month of training she still couldn't do, annoyingly, which obviously would give the wrong comparison. It would end up obviously destabilized or something, popping in the hand when yeah, so Snyder would kind of, moan at Dry that, she's trying to teach, someone, the Rasengan to which they'd probably never do it, and, some other stuff, and though someone should end up obviously telling Naruto that if she can obviously master it in somewhat 1 week, she'll, go back to the village and that, and she'd also throw in obviously a somewhat necklace as well. And yeah, Dry somewhat sweatshop as pretty much Naruto had already won it. Naruto obviously just tried to, do it one-handed, so yeah, but she could do the Rasengan just with a, Shadow Clone to help out, and yeah. Anyway, and so pretty much that week she'd still spend, trying to get the Rasengan down one-handed. And yeah, so when the snake would obviously end up, when it started happening, obviously Dry being poisoned and Precision being knocked out. Yeah, that would somewhat happen like in canon. And yeah, though after somewhat like getting somewhat Justin to making Sean very much threatening, obviously Dry with castration if he does somewhat looking, should somewhat get changed into a battle kimono. And yeah, and somewhat from there they would leave. And yeah, those somewhat both, or at least annoyingly, or at least, Dry would obviously end up summoning Gamikichi, and Naruto would end up summoning Gamitatsu, and somewhat they'd both kind of be annoyed, but it seemed like Bunta was off somewhere and wasn't somewhat answering the call annoyingly. So yeah, though Dry would end up obviously somewhat fighting the snakes. I mean, it was somewhat Orochimaru, and Naruto would end up kind of fighting against Kabuto. And yeah, so the pretty much canon stuff would somewhat end up happening. Though the only thing somewhat happen would be, or at least somewhat, as obviously the Rasengan would somewhat destabilise, but as he would somewhat obviously be, as Kabuto would be somewhat launched back, somewhat still, somewhat kind of instinctually, once the Rasengan had dispelled, she'd flood her body somewhat with chakra, obviously somewhat just in case he may have to move back, and yeah, and somewhat time would seemingly slow down as his hands would go forward. Obviously he may be shot backwards, but he could use it as an attack, and that he would. I should end up feeling almost odd. Oh yeah, I should sort of kind of look down, and he was still moving his somewhat hands, though it was somewhat slow, though. Should walk back and just should somewhat walk back just enough to Kabuto's hands would completely miss her, and he'd be obviously shot back. The time would end up receiving for her, and yeah, obviously he'd be shot into the thing. The only difference would be Naruto wouldn't obviously he wouldn't have managed to get Naruto. Yeah, though Dry would end up yelling somewhat at her to obviously move, to which he'd end up turning around and being obviously something kind of surprising at, and just as she was about to move, Tsunade would jump in someone's front, protecting her. And yeah, though she'd be somewhat shot, there's now Tsunade looked like she was about to die, though obviously once the snake would obviously pull it out and the sword out, Tsunade would proceed to obviously show off that she could obviously rapidly heal using the a diamond mark on the head. And after that, and someone beating that, Tsunade had placed the necklace over her head, obviously, and yeah, from there they would obviously somewhat go back to the hotel, and the next day they would go back to the village. And yeah, from there obviously she'd end up somewhat waking up Sasuke, waking up Sasuke and Kakashi, and she'd obviously check out Lee, and would end up telling Guy the somewhat same thing she would in canon, though she would end up obviously doing somewhat research to try and obviously increase Lee's survival ability. And yeah, And so from there, about 3 days would go by, as I'd presume it'd be about 3 days since Tsunade had awoken Sasuke from his somewhat Sharingan induced Genjutsu, Sharingan Genjutsu induced coma, and yeah, of course, he'd remembered obviously, then obviously, about Naruto's speech from the obviously Genin exams, and yeah, obviously feeling just frustrated over all, and so he would end up obviously demanding, finally having enough of his forcefully demand a fight from Naruto, which should obviously decline, and obviously say that maybe once he was obviously better and actually out of the hospital, but he'd just send a harsh glare at her and would demand once more, by most seemingly threatening her, and to which would finally push her to the point of going fine, and they would end up going into up to the roof, in which Sakura would be obviously somewhat worried and that, and yeah, and obviously from that play out. Though one thing obviously was for sure, at least when Kakashi would come out just as he'd grabbed the two and fling them away, you'd note that Naruto's Rasengan was a lot weaker than the one she used in the Chunin exams finals against Neji, which had meant obviously it was only really strong enough to cancel out the Chidori and not to really do any real harm / lasting harm to Sasuke. And yeah, and obviously from there, Sasuke would obviously jump over the fence and would obviously end up glaring up to see the full power of the Rasengan, as he smite that up because he dented, did more damage to the water tower, though. While Steve was only drilled a little hole, but obviously the other side, is a massive, gaping hole. And yeah, anyway, though obviously after that, Kakashi would have a talk with Sasuke. Though actually have that talk with Sasuke, Naruto would find herself being called to the Hokage Tower. She'd be somewhat confused as to why Bachan Tsunade was calling her to. She really couldn't think for any reason why. Maybe the destruction of the water tower for the hospital, maybe, but that was really maybe it. And granted, she'd have to go on a mission or two to obviously pay it off, as he only had enough money to last about 2 months or so. And yeah, though when she'd obviously just walk on in, going hey Bachan, in which would cause Tsunade to hide twitch, though she'd just sigh and she'd go, Naruto, do you know why I called you here? And she'd just stare at her and go, no, but I presume you're going to tell me. To which Tsunade would just nod and would go, well, we have to wait for another person, a lazy person, should crack an eyebrow and got what Kakashi sensei, which she'd shake her head, no, I would have preferred to have him here, but or at least have a mission, or at least he'd been sent on a mission, but he was just, it wasn't that long ago. It's he probably hasn't quite yet gone on it, but he'll have to be going on it very soon. I presume he's probably just going to the hospital, where you Sasuke Sakura would be to tell you when that happens, about you, and a voice would go, well, of course, but she'd I told her, and before you wonder, of course, I was behind Sasuke's water tower, or the water tower in which Sasuke had Sasuke's Chidori had gone through. Literally just not, him though Jiraiya had come seemingly somewhat from the she'd presumed that Jiraiya was potentially with obviously Tsunade in the office as she was being called. But yeah. Though a few somewhat moments later, and there'd be a knock at the door in which they'd come into a somewhat lazy Nara and somewhat Asuma Saratobi would somewhat enter, to which they'd kind of start one another and somewhat confusing. And yeah, though of course Asuma would be shocked to see obviously Jiraiya, and yeah, though from there Tsunade go Genin, Shikamaru, Nara and Naruto Uzumaki for your somewhat or at least somewhat Shikamaru for your somewhat bravery or at least somewhat plan during the somewhat Genin exams, and for you're willing to sacrifice yourself during the somewhat village invasion, the Sand invasion of Konoha. I'm hereby promoting you to Chunin. It'd be surprised, and he'd just say to troublesome. Which they'd somewhat slightly chuckle, and she'd go and Naruto Uzumaki for being able to somewhat shrug off the somewhat 8 trigram 64 palm technique, somewhat reopening your Tenketsu, and also somewhat going up again and and killing some sound shinobi, and also going up single-handedly and defeating the One-Tails somewhat Shikaku, the Sand Spirit. I hereby promote you to Chunin as well. And yeah, they should somewhat, though, so you obviously couldn't help but someone just jump over, bolt over the somewhat desk and cuddle somewhat Tsunade, and yeah, Tsunade do something smile and something Jiraiya, and yeah, she's definitely somewhat like her mother, and well, yeah. Anyway, those somewhat obviously should give the somewhat there Chunin Flatjack, to which Naruto somewhat somewhat moan that it wasn't orange, to which they somewhat slightly chuckle, though Tsunade would tell her that she didn't technically actually need to wear it, but she should or at least keep it on her at all times, to which it's somewhat nod, and she'd just start around, stay or at least would she'd just somewhat said, I'd presume storage scroll right, and it's Tsunade would just nod. Not unless you're going to have it, and which she just slightly somewhat shake her head. No, it wasn't orange. And yeah, though from Tsunade's somewhat knowledge, there was no orange somewhat, or at least jacket to state rank, so she could make a custom one, but most people would presume the custom one was more Jonin than Chunin, so oh well, maybe once she makes Jonin a custom one. Probably not, she probably still wouldn't wear it. Yeah, even if it was orange. And yeah, anyway, though somewhat from there, there's of course somewhat leave, and yeah, though, and somewhat of course that night somewhat should have something a kind of rude awakening from a somewhat female Ambu. So somewhat now to open up her door and kind of send a somewhat gladly Ambu, and she goes, do you know what the damn time is? And not an hour or so after midnight. Naruto just started there, and somewhat the Army knew it was of a rhetorical question, but still. And somewhat just decided and go, damn, what does the old hag want now? And somewhat the Army would go, someone straighten up and would go, Sasuke Uchi has defected from the village. Hokage-sama wants to meet you immediately. Naruto's eyes would go somewhat wide-eyed. What? Why enough for that stupid idiot? Fucking is the only thing he ever happened once is to somewhat kill his freaking brother. So somewhat go on a slight rant before the Amber would go so as you're kind of ranting, he's kind of getting away. You may want to somewhat get dressed and meet with Tsunade. Yeah, I know. And she'd somewhat turn around, shut a door and run into her bedroom, somewhat getting dressed as fast as she possibly could, before somewhat running out and meeting up, and obviously meeting up with, or at least at the tower, to which you'd also see Shikamaru, to which you'd somewhat be confused. Actually, wait, why were they going out? And after it asked why weren't obviously somewhat Armbu going out, and which Tsunade would state that the minimum amount of Armbu in Konoha was, that Konoha was running at minimum Armbu. After it somewhat to her head, and Tsunade would clarify that the minimum amount of Armbu that were allowed, or at least that were somewhat that had to be in Konoha to potentially protect it, was in Konoha, and that the rest were out on obviously missions, as from the sound invasion. They have to obviously look like nothing had kind of seemingly happened, like it was no issue to seemingly strike it off. In some reality, they did obviously suffer obviously a bit, and though they would nod Jonin again, they were all somewhat majority of them were somewhat out, and they were just somewhat just sigh, and those who tell them that their only pickings were Genin, and that that they could choose obviously any Genin they would want to go on the mission to retrieve Sasuke. And they'd somewhat sigh, and so from there they would somewhat leave, and they'd talk to they'd Shikamaru obviously somewhat ask which one obviously should be in command, and which should state that he was somewhat she may be stronger, but at the moment he's probably somewhat the smarter of the two, and could come up with an actual sort of plan to potentially get them back, or get him back. And Richard nod, and somewhat with obviously the same team that would end up leaving like Cannon would, and from there pretty much Cannon would somewhat play out up until she'd obviously meet up with Sasuke, to which all that fight would pretty much go the exact same, besides them obviously being somewhat stronger and known both for somewhat elements. Now still wouldn't give her much of an advantage over Sasuke. The only thing would be that she'd maybe be able to have a somewhat stronger Rasengan, but obviously remember from when she was somewhat a male, and obviously Sasuke somewhat taunt, she'd end up being able to obviously very much mark his hit height, though Sasuke obviously attacked somewhat doing damage, and would leave her somewhat being passed out once he'd barely managed to leave. And and obviously somewhat from there Kakashi would end up somewhat coming, obviously somewhat too late, and obviously it'd start draining, so Bakun wouldn't be able to obviously track Sasuke's scent. Kakashi would somewhat curse, but would pick up Naruto and would return to the village with a somewhat a day or so going by, or week going by. Not really sure, it's never really stated that just a time went by. But she'd somewhat wake up, and after somewhat informed obviously Tsunade from what happened, from obviously her point of well, yeah, from sort of, her point. And yeah, obviously Snyder said that it was a fail, but and yeah, she just somewhat would kind of sigh, but would nod it was probably inevitable. And yeah, though from there, though she'd know at the very least somewhat, or at least, oh yeah, she'd somewhat continue to push herself and obviously get stronger. And yeah, of course, someone doing the hospital tried, someone come to her and would somewhat offer her potentially, obviously or at least somewhat to train her for obviously somewhat 3 years, though they would have to somewhat leave as it would be a training trip. To which she obviously would be somewhat indecisive of, as after all, kind of, well, yeah, because somewhat, from somewhat, or at least those, 3 days before, or at least, yeah, before the, well, no, sorry, well, no, but yeah, she'd kind of had somewhat to realise obviously Dry was a somewhat pervert, and, well, yeah, she was somewhat, obviously, being a female woman now, but yeah, being a female, she was somewhat very much uncomfortable with potentially going, with Dryer, and, well, yeah, and, well, plus, kind of, somewhat she could obviously just stay in Kona and, train in Kona her. And yeah, it was like, who wasn't like, Dry was the only sensei, so, she could obviously train with, Kakashi sensei, go on missions, like she was a training, no, so, yeah. Anyway, though, also, obviously, somewhat, Sakura would also end up, congratulating her on the, somewhat promotion, actually, she do I did done that. And, yeah. Only somewhat from there, when she'd obviously finally be somewhat allowed out, she'd somewhat just ask Kakashi if they, or at least would just ask Kakashi somewhat to, or at least if they could potentially go on a mission. He'd somewhat, what can I go? And he'd go, I'm surprised, I thought you would have asked me to train. She'd go, well, yeah, but I kind of need somewhat money first. And as much as I don't or at least somewhat say, money is kind of somewhat more important than, only somewhat was kind of important, as I don't really have that much money left. It not, and yeah, from there they'd somewhat, but yeah, they, or at least somewhat but yeah, though she would somewhat at least tell, or at least Kakashi that Sakura wouldn't be really joining them due to the fact Sakura was training and becoming a somewhat medic and as somewhat of people, in which Kakashi just nods, saying that it was obviously fine, yeah, as they'd somewhat just do some somewhat C rank missions to get some money. Yeah, besides somewhat, but yeah, though, yeah, they'd, well, yeah, somewhat after doing all these somewhat 3 or 4, well, yeah, after doing somewhat 2 somewhat C rank, 2 to 3 C ranks, she would somewhat end up, well, yeah, going, only somewhat telling Kakashi after, obviously, somewhat, so about 2, well, yeah, say 2 weeks had somewhat gone by, as, well, yeah, they weren't exactly all that long, somewhat based C ranks, mainly, somewhat within a week to under a week, so, yeah. Anyway, besides, something like that, she'd also, or at least told Kakashi that once, or at least they returned to Konoha after this one, somewhat, or at least tomorrow, she'd, somewhat to obviously train, get stronger, and which Kakashi somewhat was obviously fine with. And yeah, and somewhat from there she'd sort of go, once they'd get back, she'd somewhat go to a clothes store and would somewhat get a new somewhat kind of Konrichi outfit, one that wasn't a somewhat bat kimono, which she'd end up kind of getting black. Oh yeah, somewhat black, pretty much. Well, yeah, black, somewhat, Konrichi, black Konoichi sandals, in which would stop below somewhat kneecaps, and yeah, from there somewhat a kind of a burnt orange somewhat short shorts, a burnt orange somewhat jacket that had a obviously somewhat red somewhat swirl on it, and from there somewhat underneath should wear black somewhat sports bra and a somewhat just fishnet shirt. And well, yeah, so and somewhat a black top, though the somewhat black top was mainly somewhat yeah, though she was somewhat obviously getting more somewhat comfortable with just literally being herself and that, and after somewhat a week of kind of training, she'd gotten somewhat to the point of where she didn't even put on the black top no more, pretty much, as she'd more or less just put the black top on mainly to just kind of stop people from potentially trying to perv on her, but she tried to use somewhat a shinobi, a Konoichi first, and yeah. And while obviously somewhat being on Konoichi, sure, she's very much a lucky one due to having the fox sealed inside of her, which meant she had a very enhanced healing factor, which meant she could obviously she was incredibly strong, and obviously her Uzumaki healing and that, and yeah, and also at that she'd end up obviously revealing the fact she also had the anti-matter change to Kakashi, which would be surprised, and would also sort of tell her of somewhat what Kushina could obviously do besides from suppressing the fox and that, something which she'd done against the One Tails, but also the fact that at least Kushina could make a somewhat a chain barrier that was pretty much impenetrable by anything. Nothing could pierce it. Yeah, and that would somewhat be surprised, and yeah. And though Kakashi state that, I presume she could also probably make, like a chain wall with it and that. Which Naruto somewhat nod, she'd presume obviously that as well. And yeah, anyway, and so from there, somewhat they would train and that, and obviously when the month, or at least when Jai somewhat asked if she decided if she would somewhat like the training trip, she'd somewhat shake her head saying that she's now a tuning, and somewhat yeah, plus she could also somewhat train somewhat him, which tried somewhat kind of let her aside, though he'd nod and he'd somewhat tell her that a group of, or at least somewhat a group of F-rank shinobi called the Akatsuki were after the Tailed Beasts, or the somewhat Jinchuriki, in which the Tailed Beasts were sealed within, so they were also after kind of her. She'd sort of nod, and she'd then ask, that's why you wanted me to use the fox's chakra, wasn't it? In which Dry would sort of nod. And yeah, though she just stated, well, I will I guess try and talk with the fox to maybe get a to try and maybe strike a deal with it, so that I could potentially use its chakra, obviously only when absolutely necessarily, and yeah, to which Dry would that would obviously be somewhat beneficial, and obviously to have the fox willingly obviously give her chakra, well, she could potentially pull off a potential Tailed Beast transformation if they get good enough with working as a team, her and the Nine Tails, which would be most definitely beneficial against S rank shinobi. And yeah, and so obviously somewhat would also, when it somewhat come to Konoha, would also somewhat tell some also kind of trainer and teach her somewhat other jutsus and that, and also kind of cheat, and also somewhat with obviously Kakashi, and that they would, both of them would also teach her the other elements, and also should also doing, of course, somewhat moving into the 3-year time skip, should also somewhat start. She'd also obviously be able to get down the Rasengan to one hand, and as they'd go along, they'd also eventually start trying, would also, after getting wind to level 2 and water to level 2, though she'd still have a cyclone, practicing the water from the air. She would also obviously start trying to add her wind affinity to the Rasengan as well. And and it would take about 6 months 6 months would go by. Not 6 months, but a month. Pretty much a month would go by as she'd, about a month would go by as she'd finally, managed to form she'd finally would be able to add wind to her Rasengan, and she'd see it, and it would seem like someone now, so she'd presume, that had just taken her, actually just it's not really stated how long it took her. I'd presume, a month, so when Kakashi would ask what she'd like to call this new variant of the Rasengan, she'd state Wind Style Rasengan. Which Kakashi would no, I don't need to do his own Rasengan, and go, well, how about we compare to then? Which should just somewhat begrudgingly nod. And from there they would obviously have a clash, to which Kakashi would end up holding his hand from the downs and turn his head around. You'd end up seeing two figures, not just the back of the fourth Hokage, but also the back of one Kushina Uzumaki. And then just before the two figures would seemingly vanish, they would seemingly look down to seemingly their daughter and would give a smile before fading, to which he'd just go completely wide-eyed. Where someone just shocked, and he'd quietly say, Sensei. Too quiet for Naruto to hear, but anyway, though somewhat after, of course, having his hand bandages, and that should continue to practice with the Rasengan, and after another month and 1 or 2 weeks, should finally truly get it down and stable. And Kakashi would ask once more, actually not just Kakashi, but also Dry would ask what form of this Rasengan would she call it, and she'd go, well, Wind Style, Rasen Shuriken. Rasen obviously for, short for obviously Rasengan, and it looked like, a giant, Shuriken, so Rasen Shuriken. And they'd somewhat nod at that, and the sheer power of it, they'd somewhat both agreed it was S rank, and it was an immediate to kill one. And though from there, because Jiraiya obviously was alive, because it's the training trip, or at least what would have been the training trip. Even just, or at least using that and not using it on a person, using it as on a tree, and obviously getting back before it would detonate. So that they'd end up revealing, or at least that even just having it in her hand did come with some backlash, and that she'd obviously or at least would tell Naruto that it would be forbidden, and it would be classed as a forbidden jutsu, but it would be forbidden and should be forbidden to use it until she could find a workaround, so that it, or at least somewhat, not really mitigated, but lessened the backlash. To which she'd just look down, but she'd nod, and she'd also tell her that she'd be somewhat forbidden to try and mess about with the Rasengan and adding her other element to it, that being water. She'd somewhat allow somewhat grown, though Dry to somewhat speak up saying that, and she could also probably somewhat, learn Finjutsu as. And yeah, as tried somewhat to explain that or at least the somewhat chains were also in a way a somewhat ability, were able to also do Finjutsu, though to what type he didn't really know, so she'd have to experiment on to that degree with them with that. But yeah, those should somewhat nod, and yeah, so then end up somewhat experimenting with that. Though Dryer, or at least like that night, Dryer would end up summoning Martin Parr, and someone would ask somewhat them if. Well, no, he'd also. Well, no. Well, yeah, something he'd. Something he'd. Well, no. Well, yeah, something after leaving from there, and they would somewhat go, though Dryer would somewhat tell them to, or at least somewhat Naruto to come with him, somewhat to the training ground, as he somewhat wants to. Well, he may potentially have a way around it, but she may be a bit too young for it still yet, in which it just now I don't put his hands on me, say it's a technically a very strong technique in which I can somewhat use, though I'm no master of, I haven't fully, learnt it yet as well, but I can use it. I'm just not I haven't really fully somewhat learnt it. Should just somewhat nod, though should be somewhat suspicious about him, and so from there, once they'd arrived to the somewhat obviously trying to hand with Kakashi, accompany somewhat to them, wondering what it'd be. So Dry would bite his thumb, running through somewhat hand sign, he'd slam his hands on the ground, saying summoning jutsu should be confused. Though two toads would somewhat come and go, Dry boy, how many times do we have to tell you to warn us before somewhat you summon us? And Dry go, and somewhat like, sorry Pa, though I've kind of got a question somewhat for you. And Ma go, oh, and what may that be? As they smoke with clear, and yeah, well, somewhat, what do you think about potentially teaching how to somewhat sage mode? Oh, they look like it's too, it is right here. They would somewhat turn around at that. Young. Tried to go, yeah, but surely age isn't necessarily all that, isn't it? Surely they'd somewhat think, well, they'd somewhat look at her and, well, sure, well, they generally used somewhat age, but so it stated it really depended on her somewhat overall chakra reserves and maturity. If she was mature enough, then yeah, and obviously had enough chakra, then yeah. And yeah, though somewhat after some talking and that, they would somewhat nod that she had more than enough chakra and was just mature enough. But they knew obviously somewhat as she got older she'd get even more mature, so yeah, they'd agree to somewhat teach sage mode. And yeah, and though Pa would somewhat tell him that once they teach her sage mode, somewhat he can also somewhat finally complete his sage mode training, which now somewhat grown, though he'd state it's the only way. Dryer, he'd somewhat sigh, though he'd nod, and so they would obviously somewhat tell Tsunade, and yeah, and so somewhat from there, somewhat it'd be somewhat about a month later, Naruto would have learned all somewhat about sage mode, how to obviously absorbing nature energy and that, and she was a very fast learner. And Dry was somewhat annoyed because he was still somewhat getting it or at least somewhat the incorrect amount, but hey, it was getting better. And so due to the fact there was no obviously attack on the village kind of somewhat in that, but they'd spent another somewhat month there kind of refining that, and also kind of somewhat talking with the fox. They'd also talk with the fox more, to which he'd finally be able to get a somewhat kind of deal from the fox, which was when she was pretty much, once she'd resourced everything she could, and she was like, her chakra reserves were obviously somewhat nearly, fully, gone. All that, somewhat, when she was obviously facing against someone she clearly outmatched, the fox would give her somewhat chakra. And yeah, though of course due to obviously somewhat, or at least Pa and the fox obviously not really wanting obviously Pa and or Ma, those two obviously connect with Naruto, he'd also tell her that he'd also, because he's obviously somewhere stationed, in another obviously living thing within her, somewhat, because he's stationary, he could be the one, to obviously pull in nature energy, to which she could obviously use. And she would somewhat nod, and she'd obviously tell, Drying that about it, they'd be a bit hesitant, but the fox would actually, keep its end of somewhat the deal and that, and yeah. Dry from there would potentially think about giving Naruto the key to the seal. But well, yeah, as the fox did seem, to be somewhat working, but he'd be for now somewhat hesitant, though. And yeah, and so from there, some more time would pass, and well, somewhat 2 weeks later, Naruto would end up leaving somewhat the Toad summoning the somewhat place, Mount Miyaboku, somewhat simply telling Dry that should reverse summon herself from time to time to somewhat visit him and to make sure he was still, training in Sage Mode, and literally just grumble as she'd obviously got it somewhat fast that he did. And yeah, though the also other reason why she was somewhat, well, yeah, or at least the main reason why she was leaving was because she was somewhat bored. It was because they couldn't really teach her anything else. She'd learn really somewhat Sage Mode and that, and how to fight with using Sage Chakra and that, and yeah. So, and the only thing, or at least that could, and yeah, and the only thing she'd obviously have to test, which was the Rasen Shoken plus Sage, obviously Sage Chakra. She'd have to do that back in Konoha, as she didn't really want to, destroy Mount Miyaboku, or, cause any craters, so, yeah. So from there, she'd obviously say somewhat goodbye, and, yeah, somewhat, yeah. So from there, after somewhat a couple minutes back in Konoha, and somewhat finding, somewhat Kakashi, they'd go, and obviously somewhat Tsunade as well, and somewhat Sakura as well. They would witness the raw power of the Rasen Shuriken. Or at least Tsunade and Sakura would for the first time, Kakashi for the second time, but also Naruto didn't know why, but she just threw it this time. She didn't know why, but she just felt like she could just throw it and it'd be fine, and it would. It was Sage, obviously, it would say Sage Chakra enhanced Rasen Shuriken, which after flying through some trees like a buzzsaw, it'd blow up, and yeah, they just witness the the power of the of the S-Rank Jutsu, the true power of the Rasengan, and yeah, they would just be gobsmacked at it. And yeah, those Tsunade dudes obviously checked out his arm and would go and would smile at her, well, as long as the jutsu doesn't hurt you, you'll be perfectly fine to use it now, but it is still considered a forbidden jutsu, just I'm not forbidden to use it. Exactly. Does that mean yes, you can experiment with the Rasengan as long as you're in somewhat Sage mode, in which you nod at, and yeah. She would also kind of inform, or at least nod and tell somewhat Sakura about obviously the Nine Tails and somewhat the deal she'd kind of broke with the fox. So they'd be somewhat surprised, but would nod, and yeah. And yeah, of course, not Sasuke, Kakashi would somewhat as well, and though from there they would, someone should continue to obviously train, making the Rasengan stronger and stronger, and the fox would sort of have a flashback at seeing, the sheer, destructive power of the Sage, sort in the Sage Chakra enhanced Rasen Shuriken. The Nine Tails Kurama would have a flashback from when he was whole, when he was in Kushina during the Third Shinobi World War. When Kushina had finally decided to go past the somewhat line in the dirt for the first time. That line was there because outside of that line, the seal on her stomach, it would be, or at least wouldn't be somewhat reinforced from a seal, and that it would obviously somewhat weaken, and the fox could obviously potentially somewhat take over somewhat her, in which she'd been placed inside of that somewhat seal specifically because the seal was somewhat obviously it weakened to a point where the fox was obviously giving her nightmares and that, and yeah. Anyway, though, his more specific memory was when somewhat Minato had entered somewhat Kushina's mindscape and had gone up against him with a full-powered, and he had a full-powered somewhat tailed beast bomb ready to launch, and Minato had countered it with his own Rasengan, which would have been Kushina's first ever. But yeah, it'd be a first somewhat time seeing it, and he'd beaten the fox. It was a stalemate. He'd beaten it. And yeah, and so from there, after somewhat reinforcing seal, doing the 8 trigrammed, placing the 8 trigram seal over the tetragram seal, which the 8 trigram seal would be shut, unlike Naruto's, which is open, which allows Naruto to draw upon the 9 Tails chakra, and due to the tetragram seal that mixes some of the chakras together and is the actual seal that holds the fox inside her. The 8 trigram seal is simply the lock, pretty much, to and so somewhat from there, and if Minato's Rasengan could somewhat, stalemate / beat, a full-powered tail beast bomb, slightly full-powered as it was somewhat starting to be slightly suppressed by Kushina's change, which were obviously still developing, though Naruto's change were at a stronger state than Kushina's, even though they looked weaker, mainly because Kushina had used her change more, but Naruto's somewhat innate chakra suppression, her change, somewhat innate chakra suppression ability was a lot stronger than Kushina's own. So yeah, and so somewhat with Naruto increasing obviously the somewhat her knowledge of the Rasengan and obviously making it better and better, she'd eventually match her father's own Rasengan, and with her already having it up a version with the S-rank Rasen Shuriken, Fox knew it would outmatch a full-powered tail, if it was at full strength, her Rasen Shuriken would outbeat his tailed beast one hack. He'd probably cut it in half. And yeah, so did she really need its chakra? His chakra? He'd somewhat mused to himself. She was truly starting to head down the path of being the only human to be able to truly outmatch the tailed beasts. And and at that thought, he'd remember about the Sage's 6 paths and his last words of that there'd become a day in which there'd be all one day potentially united together again somewhat. And he'd realise that person was her. She'd somewhat never, she'd somewhat disliked him, but as obviously somewhat, though she'd just grown to somewhat obviously, try and want, more, to learn more about, the fox. And that, humans feared what they didn't understand, so she was trying to understand him, to truly not really, to somewhat truly, understand him, and like the old man once did. And with that, guys, I'm going to end this part here. So if you have enjoyed this part, do tell me in the comments down below. And so remember, part 6 will be out tomorrow. So guys and girls, have a good day or night, depending on wherever you are and whenever you watch this. And good bye.